Hello, everybody out there. Greetings to you all. This is Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru. Hey, y'all know I love helping women align with their life purpose using ancient wisdom so that they confidently and courageously live the amazing lives that they know they deserve. I'm so excited about this evening, but first, let me ask you all, how are you? How are you doing? I see some of the sisters got here early. Hello, hello, hello. We have Zellico. We have Azizi. We have Felicia and Paula. What's up, my sisters? How are you all doing? I bow down to you. Hashtag replay to everyone who watches in the replay. So grateful for you all. So happy to be here for our Friday live stream. Jasmine is here. What's up? Hey, y'all. It's the Vershawn. Hey, what's up, mama? Y'all, let me tell y'all something. In the priestess world, first of all, half the time folks don't even know what a priestess is. But we have to do our own celebrations whenever we have our priestess anniversary. This is for those priests also, that are initiated into whatever tradition it is. We have to do our own celebrations because half the time the world doesn't even know we exist. So November the 19th, 2006, I remember like it was yesterday. I, along with three other women, completed my initiation into the Sacred Feminine Mysteries. So that 14 years ago, I completed a 3-year trek into an ancient mystery system that had been long forgotten. And yeah, I did that thing, and I've been working with it ever since. And so, I honor the two other sisters that were there besides the one that's on tonight. I honor them. We get to do whatever we feel like we need to do after initiation, but they're not around. So I was only able to bring on one of my sisters that was born with me into this tradition, into this priesthood. And her name is Erika. Erika is actually a dear friend to me. It's to me a mind blowing that I had a friend. Actually, one of the other sisters was a friend. We were like friends before we started this. So she's actually a friend. And we just so happened to be called at the same time to go into this tradition, and we finished together. Erika is just like me, just like most of us out there. She is somebody you see on the street. She is doing her thing. She is smart. She is brilliant. She's an engineer. She is a leader. She is a mom, a wife, a daughter, a aunt, just a good human. And so, it's my honor to bring Erika on this evening so that we can celebrate ourselves, because typically it's just us texting each other like, happy anniversary of our Sacred Feminine Mysteries priesthood. And so this year I was like, hey girl, you want to come on a Friday and let's party with those of you out there in the Goddess Body Mind Spirit community, because y'all are all that. And I appreciate y'all for showing up here with us this evening. So without further ado, let me bring in my girl, Erika.
Hey, crew.
They are here for real. What's
Oh,
up,
yeah.
the stars? How y'all doing?
Nothing but the sky. Nothing but the sky. You know.
Erika, how are you?
Fantastical. Fantastical. Just a reflection of you. I'm so glad that you invited me to join you in celebrating with this sister circle. Power of a woman lies in her circle. And so,
Day.
got to show up. Got to show up.
That's right. So for any of those out there who want to let us know that you're here and identify with us, maybe you are like, you know what, I really don't want to identify with y'all because y'all crazy. No, I'm kidding. But let us know if you're Erika's also an empowerment coach. I'm sorry. Erika's an empowerment coach, y'all, also. But we're going to be talking about that because just because we initiate in the priesthood doesn't mean you're doing what I'm doing. The priesthood is for we'll talk to y'all about that. But if you are a priestess of the Sacred Feminine Mysteries watching live on the replay, or if you are a spiritual aspirant, someone who completed the spiritual aspirant initiation, please chime in and let us know. Just chime in, SFM. Let us show people this is a group. It's not just me and Erika. It is
We
there's
are
a
strong.
community. Yes, there's a community.
We are
Hello,
very strong.
everybody. Hello, oh, everybody's here.
Hello, Felicia. Thank
Yes,
you,
we have some
Laura.
long-term friends out there. Felicia
That's
has been
right.
around and watched us grow in this tradition. So, okay, we got CV, SFM present. What's up,
We is
CV?
about to call you out. About to call you out.
I just call her CV because she likes to be on the down low. So,
Ah,
so yes, welcome, welcome. So we got CV is letting us know she's here. So, um, what we want to talk about tonight, because I think it's important. It seems so mystical and mysterious. What is this initiation? So many people want to be a part of, um, to initiate in some kind of way. And there are some people who are like, I sort of kind of feel like I'm supposed to initiate, but what is it to be a priestess? How does one get on this path? And so, as Erika and I take time to think about our time uh, in this tradition, we want to share all of that with you all. And so, Erika, I want to start off by asking you. Well, actually, I'm going to start out. Erika knows I'm the big sister. She's the baby sister. But actually, I started initiating first. So it really does, it really behooves me to go on ahead and get started with this thing. So
and
there
you're
was
older.
I'm older. I own every piece of this 50, Erika. So,
Beauty and age. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, sis.
thank you. Well, actually, Erika and I were a part of a group. You know how you're hanging out with some sisters, and maybe this actually isn't normal because I've never experienced anything like it since. But there was a group of us in little old bitty Clarksville, Tennessee, if you can believe it,
Hmm.
that, I mean, it was like at least 6 or 7 of us that hung out together on a regular basis. We all loved um, natural hair, and we would do each other's hair, um, eating very healthy in a number of ways, and we were also
Caring for our
into
families.
caring for our families. We all had babies. It was like we were just all raising children at the time, and we had this interest in spirituality. And so there was one sister that introduced us to a couple named Oshinike, Iya Oshinike, and Baba G is what we call him, but Baba Kolioso. And once we met them, it was just, for me, it was an instant connection. It was like I knew these are my godparents. These are my spiritual teachers and my mentors. And so I actually knew Iya for a couple of years. And then after I had my second son, first of all, my pregnancy was very psychic with him. And I had a natural childbirth. It was like some stuff happened that I'd never imagined would happen in my life. And after I had him, I just was sort of like, I don't know what else to do. I was happy being a stay at home mom, but it felt like there was something else. And I scheduled a time to talk to Ia, and she was like, I think this Sacred Feminine Mysteries would be good for you. I was like, okay, it sounds like something feminine. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Didn't ask too many questions. And me and the other friend, another friend, we both said, we're going to jump into this thing with Ia. And so that's how I got started on my path. Erika, how did you get started?
So, we were at that stage where, like we said, we were deep in the thick of children. I was just with 3 children, 2 little ones, and my oldest daughter asked me. I was explaining, "You're the princess, and I'm the queen," and she said, "Well, what kind of queen are you?" And I was like, "Huh? Excuse me." And so I was like, I need to find out. And so when I met Io Shanike, the question that exudes from her soul into the universe is, "Sister, who are you?"
Ashe.
And I did not have that answer. And so, being 25, 4, 6, your brain is coming into you grown and got to do grown people things. Um, it was imperative that I find that answer. And this was a path that resonated with me deep, deep down in my bones. And so, there was no other option, to be 100% honest. Now, also, to be quite frank, I didn't know it was called a priestess path until at completion, you get the invitation and it said priestess. And I said, who? You sent this to my grandmama and my daddy and my mama? Okay. And I thought I could back out of it. And that was not an option for me. Like, spirit was like, yeah,
Wait a minute,
we need
Erika,
that.
I didn't know that you realized when Ia sent the invitations out. So what she's talking about is when we finished, it was on a big weekend or a big event was happening. And when we
Mhm,
finished, we went to the big event to be presented to the community. And
mhm.
so it was right before when Ia was sending out the invitations that,
When it arrived at my house, I opened it up and it said presenting priestess Tyra, priestess Erika, priestess, and I was like, what?
oh my God.
So, while I was signing up to do this inner work for myself and for my family and for my community, I didn't realize I was signing up to do this work for the world, right? And so I stood in the kitchen kind of like, oh, I got to call Granny, right? Because
I remember you having problems with this invitation, but I didn't know that that's when you realized it because Lisa and I start. I meant to not say her name, but anywho, it could be anybody. We started our initiation together,
right.
and
After you attended the coming out of the first
no,
priestess.
no. We started the initiation first.
Mhm.
Then the first priestess who went through,
Ah,
we went to her presentation to the community. So we started, and Ia was like, "Hey, come on to." I think it was maybe even the Oshun. It
hmm
was the Great Mother celebration, but it wasn't like what we're used to with the Great Mother.
it was the El Shumfet. It was
Okay, it was the Oshun
Oshun.
Fete.
Yeah.
And so she was like, yes, we have sister coming through, and she is the first priestess of the sacred feminine mysteries. Like if y'all know Iya Oshinike, she enunciates every word. This woman has like the best speech patterns. And me and the other sister looked at each other like, what? What? We're going to be priestesses? I was like, priestess? So you
Mhm.
got thrown off too by the priestess terminology. We had no idea
You
we
were
were signing up for the priesthood.
right,
I don't know how you missed the
right.
memo from me and Ione. I do not know how you missed
Well,
that memo.
because remember, you guys started a whole year before me, so I wasn't really like attending studying and that kind of thing
Okay.
with you all. So you guys are like, it is very sacred and private and personal. And so, me, I
We
stepped
were
over
further
total
down
dead
the road
body.
than you.
Yeah. And so I didn't ask those kind of questions, and we weren't talking about that in that
Sorry.
kind of way. Yeah.
Sorry. I had no idea. Okay, so the path of initiation. You did not actually know you were initiating.
I knew
I
I was
knew,
initiating into sacred feminine mystery. So understanding these mysteries on a deeper level and, learning about who I am, I
yeah.
didn't realize that it came with the responsibility of sharing that with others. I did not realize that. And I'm
And
not opposed to that. It
yeah,
just was.
it's really fascinating to me that we probably like the mothers knew don't tell them priestess because they
Right,
won't do it. We just need to trick them into getting on this path.
right.
how
Very
was how
right.
was it for you to initiate? What was it like to be on the initiatory path? I know we can't divulge details of things that
Right.
we did specifically, but just generally, what was initiation like for you?
It was like an unfolding. The thing that I like to say is like, we have dismembered who and what we are through our walk of life, and SFM is Sacred Feminine Mysteries is a way that you remember, like put yourself back together, all the pieces,
Yes,
and rewriting your story and
Asha.
dispelling the the myths, the lies, the untruths, the half truths that, we learn about ourselves. And so it also is about empowerment and like standing in who and what you are and
Mhm.
unapologetically yourself,
Mm.
and just connecting with something that is also nothing, right? That, what are you really afraid of? Are you afraid of, was that Marianne Williamson, that, what's your greatest fear? That you're powerful beyond measure versus
Yeah,
that you're small.
yeah.
That is what Sacred Feminine Mysteries initiation was like for me, is understanding my greatness, my special
Asha.
superpowers,
Yeah.
you know, my gifts for the world.
Yeah, I will say that for me, I started exactly like you did. I always had this sense that there was a feminine, um, representation of the great divine. And so that was one of the main reasons I was like, I'm jumping all the way into this thing because I need to know who is this goddess. And turned out that it was so much about me finding the goddess within me. Um, and so that I could more powerfully step into the world and do the work that I was called to do. I think so many of us women are called nowadays to do things that are not the norm. I don't care how square somebody's career is, how acceptable and revered it is by society. Most every woman I meet has some side of her that is a little bit different and maybe somewhat taboo
The
or
wild woman. What Felicia
yes,
said was many paths, one truth. And so understanding divinity from a feminine perspective wasn't new or profound for me, because my grandmother, who maybe started me on this path, used to pray, Mother, Father, God, thank you for.
wow.
And so I've always had a concept of the divine as feminine as well as masculine. I just didn't always have the words or the understanding of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say that I guess I did too because I was raised Catholic. So,
Hmm. Yes.
um,
Yes.
doing the rosary with Mary, that was definitely a feminine energy that I connected
Hmm.
to as a
Hmm.
child. And so, yeah, the other thing that I think became very apparent to me is that this is us remembering what Ia says it. It's not even original words for me. So much of initiation is about remembering. It's not so much about somebody's going to
Learning
give you
something
something.
new. Right,
It's
right.
it's remembering the truth of who and what you are. We
It's an
come here with
excavation.
it. It is an excavation. I use that word quite a bit.
Hmm.
Um, so one of the things too that I think is important for people to know about initiation within this particular tradition, and I do want to just say to the sisters out there, something to consider is what we are doing is ancient. And there's some people who are able to remember it and channel it in a way where it's a system that you can pass on to someone else. That's what Ia Oshinike has done. Um, and so this is actually not new, it's old, but it seems new to us. Howsoever, something that I think is interesting about the Sacred Feminine Mysteries tradition is religion. Do you have a religion?
You know, I wouldn't say that I have a religion. I probably, like, if you want to have the old song, I got good religion, in terms of being, true to ritual and devotion and faith and self-actualization, realization. I could say yes in that regard, but I would say no if I I probably would just say yes if you asked me that, because it means different things to different people. So if I say that to me, then that would be what my religion is. But is it on the census form? Is it on the census form? Maybe, maybe not. Right?
I love it. Yeah, that's something that I found to be unique. Our group was the second one to go through. Omi Seon never had a definitive.
Mhm.
Maybe she had
Yes, very
her
spiritual.
Ilekes. Would you say?
Hmm. She did. She did.
Okay. Um, but I never remember her aligning herself with the religion. And our group, we came out and it was just like everybody just sort of went their own paths. So for instance, before I finished my initiation, I had my elecades. I got those years before I started about a year before I started my initiation. So I had my connections to Ifa. I think that the older sister with, the longer hair, she had her elecades. And then there was the other sister who left and went into Islam. And you have always just sort of been somebody who is like, if I want to go to church, I go to church. If I want to go to, some wild, crazy spiritual event that has no description on it, I'll do that too. It's beautiful. Like you
Yeah.
said, what Felicia said, many paths, one truth.
Hmm. Spiritual. There was a phase where I would have said, "No, I'm not religious. I am spiritual." Like that held some higher regard, and that was, that was a story, right? Because what's the difference? It's just the story you tell yourself, right?
It really is.
Well,
That's what,
it also invokes a sense of community. I'm a part of this religion, and I'm connected with this person, this tradition, something bigger than ourselves, and so it's important to people, and I don't dismiss that at all. Um,
me either. I agree.
yeah,
And I mean, at the end of the day, there is validity in all of these spiritual traditions.
universality might
Yeah,
be the word I would use. Like there is a foundation of love and acceptance and wholeness.
exactly.
Um,
And for that, I honor all the traditions. But I do find it interesting that for those of us who initiated into Sacred Feminine Mysteries, we just all sort of do what we want to do. It's yeah, like Erika has never gotten her like AIDS, and that doesn't, I mean, it means nothing. Everyone just sort of does what they do. So that's something else. So, how long did it take you to initiate, and what has life been like since you completed your initiation? Maybe you can talk about the early days, and then as time has evolved, all these 14 years later.
it's the spiral that we talk about it being. So you're fresh out of the womb of the great mother in the world, and you're looking at everything, and you're still very much connected to the ritual and the deep, intense knowing, and then life runs you over like a Mack truck, and you try to scramble back up and straighten up your stuff, and try to figure out what's next, what's the evolution of who and what I am, because you know that if you're not growing, you're dying. And so am I in a space of dying? Am I in a space of pause? Am I in a space of growth and accepting those things as they, you know as part of my own maturation as a
Yeah.
woman, as my own maturation as a feminine being,
Mm,
you know and so as you walk away into the world, and the newness rubs off a little bit, you have to regularly check in, stay connected
that's right.
to the things that are of service to you, that are cleansing, that are restorative. We talk about having a plan for that. Like, what's the plan? And
Hmm.
at one point when I started SFM, I would say that I was thinking of, I need to find balance in my life. And then I realized it's really more like equilibrium, like riding a wave, surfing or something. It is not like you're standing still in yoga. That's not my life. Now, that might be somebody's life, and I'm sure that is fun for them. I like an adventure, and that's what the universe presents to me in various and sundry ways, as I continue to grow and learn and understand and accept more of myself and the world around me.
And having children, I just keep thinking about all of us had babies at some point during our initiation, at least the three of us who were friends when we started. And even the one that lived down the street from you, and I'm not saying anybody's
Yeah.
names out just because I didn't get permission to talk about folks, but we know who we're talking about. There was a sister who lived down the street from Erika. She had a
Hmm.
baby. Like, we all had babies. And when you have a baby, it's like you have to learn how to um, manage taking care of your spiritual life with being, you know, so immersed in raising children.
Manab meditation was like a godsend, a goddess sin.
I'm so proud of
Yes.
you.
Yes. That's like, can I wash the dishes and connect with the spirits of the universe? Can I change this diaper or wash these clothes or, drive my hour to work, and stay connected?
First of all, I want y'all to know I see all of y'all's comments, and we'll come back and go through some of them. So please keep commenting. We see all the comments that are coming through, and I'm loving them. Um, and so for me, I would say it's very similar to you, Erica. After I finished, I remember coming home just feeling like, uh, okay, what do I do now? Like,
I was like, I
I
am
was
the
not like that. I was
one.
like,
Ah.
I was
That's
like, I'm shell shocked. I don't even know what to do. It's like, I don't even know who I am. I'm so lost. And then after a while, we recalibrate and we have a new way. And it's, initiation means the beginning. So it's a new beginning. But it doesn't mean that, like we're saying, like you said, life is just like this perfect, we're looking like this perfect person. It does not look that way. And we had to do for years, even now. Erica and I always check in with each other to say, what are you working on? And are you being raggedy? Are you being a raggedy priestess? Or are you on your priestess grind? Because it's something that you have to be intentional about.
hmm
Um, so, what does your priesthood look like, Erica? Because you are such a good example that I use when I tell people not everybody's going to finish and be doing readings for other folks. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they finish and they do.
So like I'm not in corporate, America, but in my workplace or in the places that I show up, be it PTA, be it the food pantry, be it, surrounded by young, what's the word, young academics or whatever, some of the circles I find myself in, spirit is always speaking to me. I'm always connected to that inner guidance. And it may show up at McDonald's, hey woman, hey sister, I think you need this word, or
Mm,
just
mm,
looking and seeing and recognizing the mirror and the light that people see within them, that people have within themselves and don't always see. This
yeah.
world can be ugly if that's what you're looking for. And this world can also be a beautiful, beautiful gift, or is, I'm sorry, let's talk about the realness, but is a beautiful gift sometimes as disguised as Tyra Olufemi shared, a pain in the butt, right? so so it may be that I'm
Cleverly
sitting in a
disguised. Like, oh,
cleverly
this is the
disguised.
divine. You tricked
Right,
me. You tricked me.
right. Right. And that, we really um, have a choice in the matter. And so this work shows up that in mentoring, it shows up when I'm supervising at work, that I'm getting a word, that I'm feeling connected, that, energy is moving. You might be in a meeting and, I had an opportunity this week, during like a performance eval,
Wow.
and things get uncovered and you're like, whoa. And it used to be whoa. Now I'm like, let it go, girl.
Hold space for the sisters.
Hold space for the sister or the brother, because it happens in all.
Yeah,
It is. This is
I know.
not
I know.
something that is
Mm-mm, you're
exclusive.
right. Mm-mm, you're right.
Exclusive.
You're right. You're right.
And
But
so,
Erica, something that I remember thinking about for you, it was like so crazy how right after we finished our initiation, you had to sit for the PE, the professional engineer exam.
mhm,
I think that initiation is about all of that too, making sure,
absolutely.
solidifying the deal regarding our work, whatever that is. And so for you, it's engineering. No one would necessarily think initiating as a priestess has anything to do with an engineer. It absolutely does. You needed to become an engineer to get some other things done that
Part of my
only
tools. It's part of my path. It's part of my purpose.
exactly. That's it. That's what I'm saying. And so that's I think when people know that perhaps you will initiate to become a better yoga instructor, to become a more powerful and empowered yoga instructor, or to become a meditation leader, or to become on a
CEO,
higher a CEO. I know some of these people's career,
CFO.
CFO, to be a more empowered mom, to be a more empowered artist of some sort, running your own business, making lots of money, if that is, something that you desire, at least never ever worrying about it because you have the tools to create whatever it is that you need. When we step onto this priestess path, it is not all the time about doing readings and doing healing work that looks a certain way. An engineer is a healer, just like a Reiki person, someone who does Reiki is
I
a
do
healer.
that too.
You're multi-passionate is the word I'm learning, is the big
I love
catchword now.
that.
I'm multi-passionate, constantly trying to talk myself off a ledge from signing up for something new. So that is very beautiful. I appreciate you for sharing that. And for me, it has been stepping onto a path. Like before I started initiating, Erika is probably one of the very first people I ever did a reading for, if not the first besides myself.
At the kitchen table, at the kitchen table.
I would
Tyra was
call
like,
Erika.
I'm practicing. And I was like, yeah, I got a question for you too. You were like, whoa, who, me? Yes, you. I got a question.
So yes, Erika was one of the first people, but this is before I started initiating. I just was like, I just feel led to learn how to use this Metuneta Oracle. And so I would practice with Erika. And then once I started initiating, it just became more and more apparent to me, oh my God, I'm supposed to do spiritual work for people. Like nobody told me as a kid, your path is priestess. We're going to send you to college where they make you into a priestess. Never, never, ever, ever. So that blew my mind. That blew my mind. And so here I am. And something else with each one of us in our particular tradition, we finish with a particular vibration. And so my divination gift was confirmed by one of my vibrations. It's like when we think about people who are like, oh, my Orisha in the African tradition of Ifa, my Orisha is Yemaja or Shango, because you carry that vibration greatly. Um, Instead, mine in Sacred Feminine Mysteries is called Vania. One is called Vania, and one is called Mafariel. And so Vania has to do with wisdom. We're keepers, essentially. We're certain keepers of fill in the blank. So I'm a keeper of the wisdom tradition, or I'm the keeper of the traditions that have to do with women healing. She's a keeper, but we have access to all of these energies within us. It's not just one, but we have primary ones. Did you get one or did you get more than one vibration?
One was enough. One was
I
enough.
was going to say, that's all Erika, that's all Erika needed. So tell me, Erika, what else are you doing? You've got to bring up the coaching, the empowerment coach.
Right. And so what I was saying a few years ago as I was changing jobs was like, I started off uh, building bridges, and then I began to build programs and building people. And I
Mm,
didn't know what that was going to turn into in terms of as a coach, it's providing that structure for people to what? Build themselves,
mm.
um, customized and tailored to their personal vibrations, customized and tailored to their particular affinities, as an empowerment coach. Because, Erika, empowerment. It's got to match, right? so, and so, like,
Y'all are
just
really
being.
meeting the real Erika. I love this.
And so, the E for empowerment, and the company that I founded is called, Exhale Consulting. And the motto that came through, a sister from Clarksville was exhale, inhale, transform, let go of those things that are no longer serving you. Like we only use about 10%, 15% of our lung capacity. We got this old stale stuff hanging down in here, you know. So drop that, let that bag go, fill yourself up with all these things, this inner knowing, uncover yourself now. You've excavated it, now you're feeling it. And then you're transforming yourself in the world. And so I get to help. No, I'm sorry. We don't help. I attended a women's empowerment summit, and we talked about luxury language. We don't help. We lead. We transform. We inform. We convene. We do a lot of things. We don't help. So I hold the space for
Oh,
people
well,
to
look, that's what I say. I help women
participate.
align.
I know. I heard you. I was going to talk to you about that later. Oh, yes.
But they know who
Yes,
they are. They know who they are,
that's
and they love
right.
me for it.
Well, the idea behind it is that this is valuable work. And so help is like put on a black and white, smock and stand over in a corner and watch me be all great and you don't, in that type of way. And so, as women, where they call it leaning in and all that kind of stuff, we also have to recognize the power of our words
Oh yeah,
and attribute
absolutely.
the strength of our impact, translate that in our words. And so, there's really a space around luxury language. Thank you, Quinn. I can't remember, Quinn Conyers, I think it is, who introduced me to that concept, that I just am all about it. Like, we don't help, we don't get to talk about I'm raggedy so-and-so. I'm just a great priestess still, or better tomorrow. Or, we stay in the possibilities and the manifestations of our greatness and not into the smallness that can overtake us.
I agree. That's
Sorry, we got put on a tangent. My bad.
no, it's okay. I think that it's important for them to understand that you're multi-passionate, and that as I see it, you have evolved in your priestessship. I've watched you over the years search for exactly, because you were youngish. You were youngish when we finished. And so still trying to find your still working to find yourself, and raising children, being married. That was a lot, developing your career. I just feel like it is taking you a while to land. And I think that's something else that is important for women to know. It's okay if it takes a little while for you to get that clarity you need, as long as we continue to move in that direction and use the tools. That's one of the things you say, use the tools you have to stay in the game, to determine what is it that I'm supposed to do, and to do it unapologetically. And initiation gives us the tools to help us stick and stay. I think that is probably the best thing that people could take away from this. It doesn't open up. I'm just gonna be honest. When I came home from initiating both times, I was like this. Oh my God,
She
what have I
was.
done? What have I
Really, what her
done?
soul was saying was, "Oh, you got all this work to do. Get up, boo boo." So I was like, "But can I get a minute?" No, you can get a half a
I
minute.
tell you, it was something else. I don't know what people think happens after we initiate. It's a lot of doing the work day in and day out. You just have tools, and you do. I will say, you do connect more powerfully with your mission, and it's just like, I got to do this thing, because one of the things that we understand, and Erika has talked about this a little bit. Initiation into the priestesshood of the sacred feminine mysteries is about saying, I am willing to be in service to humanity. That's really what this is
A lady to
about.
that.
And so, yeah, this is why we live our destiny. This is why we do what we do, is because we are to humanity. But I see all women. It doesn't matter if you've initiated yet or not. I see this is for every sister out there, right? So cool, cool, cool. Do you want to talk a little bit about what is your understanding of the sacred feminine mysteries?
It's funny you say that, because I've been thinking about that and how I would describe that, since you extended this invitation. And I guess I would describe it as the beginning, um, come to life. And so, like, the feminine is receptive, the feminine is cyclic, the feminine is everywhere. You think, oh, the feminine is this young, TV glam, whatever the case may be. And the feminine shows up in a variety and sundry of ways. And it's like the color purple. It just begged for a little bit of attention, right?
It's so crazy. Oh my God.
So, and so you so it is something that takes what is given, is receptive, and then creates, transforms, transfers, transmutes, and the energy of the universe is a closed system, so all it is swirling around and showing up, this way, that way. And you can understand it through numbers, you can understand it through colors, you can understand it through frequency, sound, all kinds of different modalities that people understand. You understand it. You go to church, and some people understand it through it being of service in the nursery. Some people understand it in being, in the choir. But it's, what is your ministry? And everything ain't my ministry. I'll be honest with you. But understanding what your calling is to be of service to the universe,
Ashe.
and it shows up in
Yeah.
lots of different ways. And so that's how I would describe sacred feminine. And like, it's that beginning that is right here with you, showing
Mm,
up,
mm,
calling you out, calling you forth. Yes,
mm.
you. Yes, you. All of y'all on this line, calling you forth.
Ashe.
You know.
Yeah. And so all of that, and to give a little bit of um, structure or texture to the sacred feminine mysteries that we initiated into, it is truly remembering all of what Erika just mentioned, becoming one with it, mindful of it, understanding and being able to connect with this energy of the divine feminine in a myriad of ways, where you literally can see this is the divine feminine. You can call forth this energy and work with it in a powerful manner. And so it's so interesting. One of the most fascinating things I learned on my journey, because we read all these books about goddesses of different traditions, this sacred feminine mysteries that we're part of, we honor the goddess in all traditions. There's no goddess that we would be like, oh no, I ain't gonna work with that goddess. If that's the goddess I'm called to work with, that's what I'm gonna do. It's
Now
not
there
tied to
might
any
be,
religion.
it might be the one you scared to work with, like, ooh, ooh, what
Did
you
you say
got for
that?
me?
Oh,
Right.
I know a lot of folk be scared of working with oil. Yeah. Okay. So, but I love my oil. Yeah. So I
Segment in the
remember,
house.
you said who?
Segment in the house.
So I remember reading about Saraswati. There was some book that we read. It was about the Indian goddesses. And
Daughters of the goddess.
no, there was, maybe it was Daughters of the Goddess, actually, now that I think about it. And learning about Saraswati, this was one of the most fascinating things I ever learned. And that was, in ancient India, they considered language to be a mystery. I think that mysteries are things that a lot of us take for granted now. Because actually, when I started thinking about that, I'm like, that is true. First of all, how do we learn how to talk? Why do you understand what I'm saying? Like, how did this whole thing take place? And when we begin to connect with that mystery and we work with that mystery, we can literally use it. Just like you were talking about, what wording are we using? We can literally use words, understanding them as a mystery, a divine mystery. We can use words and our understanding of that mystery, and initiating kind of helps us to go deeper into it. First of all, to even see it. And then secondly, how do I work with this thing called language, right? So,
It
oh,
makes
of
me,
course, Keisha knows her. Keisha is a writer. Oh, we got Abagunde here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yes. I was gonna say, I always, the funniest story about understanding universal patterns, is that I was like, oh, I just need a break. So I'm going to go to the library and pick up whatever book is right there on the thing. And I pick up this book called My Life as a White Trash Zombie. And in this book, the universe is speaking about how you are dead, how you are consumed with what you once were, and how you have an opportunity to recreate your life and be something completely. I was like, really, really? Can a sister get a break? Can I? Who is moved by the story called with such a repulsive name, right? My Life as a White Trash Zombie. What? What? I mean, I picked it up because I thought specific there was going to be nothing of value in this book for me.
You
I'm
always,
turning off my brain,
this
turning
is
off my
Erika, Sacred
heart.
Feminine. She will pick
Yes,
up a book thinking this book means nothing, it's just trash. And then the next thing you know, she's calling on the phone like, this book is,
it
this book
changed
is
my
all
life.
on my toes, taking my breath away.
Always, always,
Oh
always.
my God. Yeah, they're laughing at the title. That is so funny.
I
So,
mean, can you blame me for like thinking that I was going to be like free and clear? This was not this is not the Bible. This was
you
not the
thought it was like
Quran,
Buffy
the
the
Torah.
Vampire Slayer, right?
Right, right. Life has
Not
changed, right?
Buffy. It
No, it
was
has
not
not.
Buffy. Just really quickly, if there are any, we know CV chimed in, any Sacred Feminine Mystery Priestesses on the live stream, type into the chat SFM because I want to honor my sisters who are here supporting us. Thank you to everyone who's here supporting us. If you are a spiritual aspirant, type into the chat SFM so that we know, or SAI. Type in SAI. We'll type in y'all's program if you're a spiritual aspirant. So, Erika, I did want to say, it's 14 years later. We have changed and not changed. But what would you
Right.
tell Erika, who had just finished her initiation 14 years ago as a priestess? What would you tell her? What advice would you give her if you could go back and talk to yourself now?
We've only just begun. The romance is not over. I got so much love to give. That'll do it.
I love it. So Erika is really good at it's like when you talk to me, I'll say, "Oh, let me tell you an astrology," or "Let me tell you what the Metunetter says about that." Erika, she will sing you a song. It's
Yeah.
like I have a problem and you're singing. So I've learned when Erika sings, let me just listen
It's
to
a
the
word. It's a
she's
word.
she's giving me a word. Okay, so I see we have Azizi SAI, we have Laura SAI in the house. We
Whoop, whoop.
have Diza from Martinique. I know she's not SAI, but that's from Martinique. I love the international. I know Mama Earth
Oh,
is from
yes.
the UK. We've got our national presence. Ellen, Anaya. Let's see here. So many people. So glad to see y'all. I want to see. There was a few questions. If y'all have any questions for me and Erika, we have a few minutes to answer. I know somebody asked me about Alegua. Maybe it was Joe C. Alegua is one of my favorite Orisha. I think Alegua is a game changer, and people a lot of times sleep on Alegua Eshu. This is another name that I call Alegua. Same energy as Mercury in astrology, but this is a very versatile energy. And I also relate it to the energy of the mind. And so, if I just see if you want changes in your life, might be some stuff that we got to change up here. And how do we do that? We work with this energy of Eshu Alegua. You want to talk about Eshu Alegua, Erika?
No, you did it.
Okay. And it's not her tradition, so it's okay. Being raised into one religion and not really seeing walls between mine and that of others made me look at the divine any and everywhere during my teens. I can relate to that, Diza.
And then like you look at different pantheons of gods and goddesses, divine pantheons in multiple different locations. Somebody was asking about Hecate, And, is there any relation to, oh yeah, I would definitely, when I look that up, I'm not familiar with that particular name, but you talk about standing at the crossroads and doorways and keeping evil spirits, and you think about oh yeah, or Kali Ma, which I did end up naming my daughter by accident, Kali.
We were like, you're naming her Kali? We're like, okay. And she
I
showed
love the
Kali.
name.
She Kali. I got a
Then
little
you
cousin named
learn,
Kali.
you learn Kali Ma is the goddess of destruction. Oh, when I read it, the name of that particular, when I read that name in a book, it said energetic. So that's how words can let you play yourself, right? I'm getting an energetic child. Yeah, my Capricorn colleague. Yeah, scared mama.
She is no
Scared.
joke.
Scared.
Okay, one question. My godfather is not what I'm into, but he taught me a lot, maybe. Is that a problem as far as differences? I just say when it comes to your godparents, it's important to continue to understand, or we're talking to Ifa, it sounds like, to continue to believe that you align with them or to feel that connection. And when you don't feel the connection, move on. Our godparents always taught us, if you aren't happy here, just leave and go
Take
find where
what
you're
you
going to be
need and leave
happy.
the rest. Take what you need and leave the rest. Because it's not about ego, this sense of self that I need affirmation of. It's about this deeper whole self that is connected to the universal grid that exists, whether you call my name or not, whether you ring my phone or not, whether you like me or not, unoffendable for certain.
Yes. Y'all are making some great comments. So true.
Mhm.
If you're not growing, you're dying. It deserves its own shirt. Initiation, new beginnings, always growing, riding the spiral. Okay, how do you maintain balance? And it's, spiritual work life, motherhood, family.
I don't see them as separate. When you try to put everything in a box, I had an epiphany some years ago, and I'm not going to cuss in front of all of y'all. I'm not going to have you clutch your pearls, but it was like blank a box. There's not a box that I'm in that I haven't created for myself, and I don't really like boxes, so I don't look at. Now I do believe in closing the door, giving yourself a moment. You do have to do that when you have a house full of energetic, wonderful beings, but I don't see them as separate. I see my work in community. I see my work in my home. I see my work for myself, my internal work. I see my work, in these various places and platforms that I show up as an expression of me that maybe it's wearing a white shirt and maybe it's wearing a hoodie and maybe it's wearing a so-and-so, but, you know, that's just what you call it. It doesn't change what it is. I introduce myself, I don't go, I am Erika. No, my name is Erika. That's
Yeah.
just what you call me. There's probably not a language that can describe what I really am.
Or any of us. Yeah.
Any of us, any of you.
Yeah, I am one who I agree with Erika, but for me, I said, but I do agree with Erika. And for
And
me,
thank you.
um, I am one who is going to schedule this thing out. I'm going to prioritize it. I'm going to schedule whatever it is that I feel like I want to get done. And I may not be able to get like this massive amount done every day, but as long as I write it out, have a plan for where I'm headed, I believe having a vision is important. And so I have a vision. This is something that we actually began in our initiation. We were told, put together a collage, and this collage helps you to understand the direction that you are going in, and you do this every year. And so this vision that we create for ourselves, whatever time of the year it is, maybe we do it at New Year's, maybe we do it at our birthdays, who knows? This is the vision that we have set for ourselves. And so from there's tasks, there's There's things that we put in place, structures that we put in place. For me,
Well,
I can be so fluid that I get nothing done. I've been a
well, right.
stay-at-home mom for years, and so I
This is
have
why
to
we are the
put.
same. We
Hmm?
are the same in that regard. Like I would rather just be chilling, but there are things that I have to accomplish. But I guess the what I was trying to articulate was like being present in this moment. You know, I don't have to look for a time to do so and so. I do have to set intentions. I do have to have structure because people count on me. I was explaining that this week in a team building I attended. Like, yeah, I prefer not to come in here and tell you what you got to do, but it got to get done, and I'm responsible for making sure it gets done. So it's best for me to communicate that to you. Set an expectation, set my intention, send it out into the world, and you get to choose how you cooperate, how you participate, or if you don't. And so I definitely agree with that. I hope it wasn't seeming like, yeah, I'm out
No,
here
that's why
free
I said I
flowing.
agree,
And
and
you did say and.
I agree, and
I was stuck on
um,
that last but. I'm sorry.
I let it go. See, Erica, I let it. I let the butt go, and I said,
Just be
and
present. Be present.
um, and I do agree. Being present, the our whole entire life is a spiritual practice. Actually, if I'm washing dishes, that's a spiritual practice. How mindful can I be? This is what I believe you're saying. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. How present can I be in washing these dishes? How grateful can I be in taking my children or spending time with my children and spending time with my significant other? How grateful can I be about it? Or,
Oh yeah.
what presence can I bring to a tense situation that I may be having? How can
What
I
is the
be present with
message?
it? Yes,
What are the universal indicators that are manifesting in this moment that might be just like chill out, turn your brain off? It might be, hey, feel this water, get in the flow. It may, and I mean, it could be anything. You know,
yes,
part of coaching is seeing the inspiration in the world around you. So maybe I'm coaching a client on my back porch, and I see a cardinal, and I just be like, what is this? What does a cardinal mean to you? What's that telling you? And they
yes,
like, or it start. I see some clouds. What catches my awareness? What do I need to be present about?
yes,
It really is like that. Like you don't want to miss your blessing because it needs to be in a box with a bow on Tuesday at 3 o'clock, right? That's the only time I'm taking. That's what I got scheduled for blessings. Like be
yeah,
open, because for me, starting from a place where um, uh, a lot of structure was provided for me. I would like to say too much structure, but probably not enough structure would be more accurate, right?
yeah.
That I learned how to do that part of it, and I let that. I thought that was the only way there was to be, and so I had to find my flow. I had to find where to let go. I had to find where to find some acceptance and turn off the voice of my inner judge or my saboteur or my, hypervigilant or whatever type of saboteur and accomplices show up to um, provide me a choice to choose to act in alignment with my purpose and my values, or to turn the table over.
Cracking me up. At the end of the day, I just feel it's a decision, like you just said. I just feel it's a decision, and yeah. Let's see here. Hello, everybody. Uh, let's see here. Okay.
Somebody asked, was it possible for an Orisha to be around and you're not familiar with them? Yeah. When my grandmother showed back up, I was like, I recall you passed when I was 8 years old. I've never known that I should be afraid of you. But as an adult, I recognize that this is out of the norm, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice, everybody. Okay. And Erica answered that question. I'm looking to see, how
Hmm.
did you know this is what you were called to? Well, we sort of didn't know. It's different now for those who come in. And so maybe one day I'll have the SAI initiates, or excuse me, the ladies who have completed the spiritual aspirant initiation. I will have them come on and talk about it, because now the way we do it, there's so many priestesses. We understand what this is. We can explain it, that there is a calling You hear it, you feel it, you sense it. And when the door gets opened, the ones that it's for, they will walk through that door. They will say, and when I say the door, it is the initiatory rites. They will
That
walk.
choice, I remember as I was starting my initiation and going through some of the ritual, and I was like, oh, Ia is gonna usher me into this place, and she's gonna place these lekes on my neck. And she dropped and was like, boom, what you gonna do with it, boo?
Did you
I was like,
catch it?
no, I wasn't expecting that. I told you what I was expecting.
I
Did I
caught
catch
mine,
that?
just
I
FYI.
don't
I caught
remember.
mine.
I don't think I caught mine. I think I was like, who? Do what?
I caught mine.
What?
Oh, wait, what she do that for? What's that about?
I was
And
like,
here's our,
that's not.
you have on your Eleke, your SFM Eleke?
No, because it's time for me to change, to transform, and so I've had my lekes. They broke. I replaced them. They broke again. The sacred feminine leke that one of my priestess sisters created for me is the one that has not broken.
Whatever.
I said, what? I don't want it. I want it again. Can I get SFM again? I want that one. Yeah, grow up, boo boo.
Yeah, I will say this is not my original one. This is a different one.
Like, no, I
But
bought another one this year and it
okay,
did
I'm not having
not
these issues.
make it.
So y'all are witnessing what it's like when your Lekes ain't staying together. It's like, okay, so am I a broke priestess, or are y'all just letting me know I need to move on and do something different with this Eleke situation? So, but
There's a story this guy told me about change, and it's a train, leading down the tracks, and you could stand in front of it. Stop, halt, that would be me. You can be dragged behind it, that would be Tyra. No, cutting and bleeding, please stop it. Or you can jump on that bad boy, and that's where we ultimately landed. That's where we ultimately landed.
yeah,
But it
yeah.
was fun. Beep, beep. That was me.
I love this. Laura pulled a card. Laura's one of the SAI ladies. When I spoke of remembering, she pulled the goddess card last night called Nimosine. I don't know how to say that, even though I'm the one that probably told her about it. Maybe it was a different oracle, but I do remember it was in something that I shared earlier this year. So I'm like, okay. Is it possible for an Orisha to be around? Is this one you answered and you're not
I
familiar
thought
with
I
them?
did.
Oh, Alegua. My spirit said that's who it was. Oh, yes. Because these energies have different names. We say Alegua, but that's or Eshu, but that's just the name that came from that one country's tradition. You could say Mercury, or you could say uh, I don't know, spirit of the mind. Who knows? So many different names that. What's the one from the mind oracle? This one could be. Shoot. Oh, well, from the Metunetter, it's Sabak. It's just
Definitely.
different names for the same energy, and it's all in us. It's all in us. It's just how do we may not even have exact words. We just understand the energy and work with it. So yes, absolutely.
It's like, I think of, you read that Bible verse, and when you are 12, what you understood it means is that you just chuckle because they said, arse. And then you read it as an adult and it means something different because that's the space that you're in that life. And then you read it
Yes.
at another time and it means something completely different because you need something different and the universe provides that. I don't speak Mandarin, but I do, speak English and a little bit of Spanish. And so sometimes you speak Christian. Sometimes I had in this team building I had this week, they asked you to pull something that's precious to you. And I had my pendulum on my desk. And I was like, oh, I like it. And it's got my favorite color green right here in the middle. And it has all the different, colors of the rainbow and chakras on it. And at the end of the class, they were like, you have a pendulum, you divine. And I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
You
love
know,
it. I love it. I love it. Oh,
I
Erica,
am
some
so
ladies are
fun.
saying they might want to initiate, so you might have some people who are initiating.
Um, do I?
It's
Will we? Will we?
Me and Erica, we always drag each other into each other's stuff. If
Sometimes
I
she's the train and I'm the person dragged behind it, and it happens very infrequently on the inverse. But she's never let me
oh,
down.
Tyra Omilade, I need you to help me with. I'm like, okay. But typically it's me, Erica. Uh, you want to help me with this? Woo! Okay, so we're
No,
talking about
no.
vultures. I'm not quite sure how that came up, but yes, I love vultures.
Well,
Paula
we were
says
just
I.
talking about how you see stuff outside and it calls to you, and I got a book like Animal Speaks in there, and
Yeah,
then sometimes you just kind of like, what's the message, and it'll resonate with you.
yeah. Okay,
So people were
it
talking
came
about
up from
that.
the cardinal discussion.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. I have transformed so many times, and now I just wonder what's next. I never had a direction, just keep following, and things take me. I can get that. I understand
Hmm.
that. I really. Iya Oceanica is on.
Yeah, yeah.
I cannot. Oh my god.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, great mother, we call on your energy to be here with us in this sacred spiritual space as we women come into this sacred spiritual cipher to work our magic, to step into the mysteries of you, great mother. We honor you this day, and we especially honor you for bringing us into communion with our beloved mother, our teacher, our mentor, Iya Oceanike. May she continue to be blessed richly, and may she continue to see how the work that she has done continues in me, continues in Erika, continues in all of those of us who have stepped here on the path of the sacred feminine mysteries to remember your ways. We call on the energies of the north, the south, the east, and the west, the mothers, the ancient mothers, that you continue to walk with us for the next 14 years and beyond, that we continue to do the work to help raise the vibration of the divine feminine energy of the universe through all the sistren who step forward and say, hey, I remember, I remember, I remember. And I too step onto the path to consciously walk within this energy of the sacred feminine, to share my gifts, to help heal the world, to help raise the vibration of humanity, to help bring more healing to the divine feminine within within each woman that we meet. And so we bow down to you, great mother, to the ancient mothers, to the ancestral mothers, and to our mother, Iya Oceanike. We bow down to you, Iya. We bow down to you. Ah. Woo, 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 woo.
Woo!
Hey, 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 hey. Yes, yes, yes. So now that I know Ia is on here, we'll have to bring her on one week. Woo! Yes, we have our Ia. We love you, Ia.
Love you. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. I'm like,
I
yes,
know. I'm
watching
like
that.
mind blown, mind blown. I do relate. Vulture and Oshun. That sounds correct. Wow. We love you, Ia. This is so wonderful to have our godmother watching this. Yes. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is our godmother, Ia Oceanike, the one that she had
The
to remember
one and
first, y'all.
only.
And
The one and only.
I have a video of her on my YouTube channel, but I will have to bring her on because she had to remember first. And
Mm-hmm.
once she remembered, she was like, hey, I think that you are the one that is supposed to remember with me. And so she took all of us. It's so many of us. She's like, come on, come on.
She birthed us, Big Mama.
Yes, she is Big Mama. She the real Big Mama. So she remembered, and then she helped us to remember. And so as y'all witness Erika and I and the other sisters who have chimed in, we have stepped onto the path and remembered, and now we have to carry our part of the legacy. So yes, y'all are like, she's here, she's here. Oh my god, oh my god.
Like, I'm gonna sit up straight. You don't want to know all
Sit
that
up
business.
straight, Erika. We got Ia here. We got Ia. Yay. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful. Well, Erika, I do appreciate you for coming on with me, sister. I bow down to your womb and the wombs that you came through to get here. I actually know Erika's mom. I think have I met Annie Carter?
Yeah, she was at our presentation.
Oh,
Do you
that's
remember?
right. I thought I met your grandma. I've even met your grandma. But anywho, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, everybody who has been here this evening with us. You know, some people we've known for years. Um, there's some of the priestesses who chimed in. Erika and I've been a part of so many ladies who have come through the Sacred from the Mysteries. We've been a part of their initiations. Uh,
Witness,
witness, but we work too. We
midwifery,
work. And
midwifery.
then there were some ladies who we both assisted recently with going through the spiritual aspirant initiation. And so it's an honor to have everyone here. And I always tell the ladies in my inner circle that when you work with me, you automatically a part of the family. Those of you who are here and watching, you are automatically a part of the family. Ia, there you go. You're meeting some more of your goddaughters. I'm recruiting them for you, Ia. They're your goddaughters. You're so welcome. It is always an honor to be here. Abagunde is one of our priestess sisters. Um, just so many. Laura is one of the spiritual aspirant initiates that went through. So is Azizi. I know Ellen was on here. So was CV. CV be laying, she be keeping it down. You know, she don't talk too much, but CV
Incognito.
is a priestess. Ellen, I think I mentioned Ellen already. I just want to make sure I give props to the ladies who are part of my inner circle. I see you. I thank you. I appreciate you. So glad y'all are here. And I guess maybe we need to be thinking about starting up a spiritual aspirant, uh, another cohort. Erika,
Sure.
y'all heard it. Y'all witnessed it.
Do I ever
Y'all,
say no? I gotta practice. No, no. Of
it
course,
doesn't
of
work. She
course.
can't say
It
no to
does.
me. She cannot say no.
I could not answer your phone calls.
She'll answer y'all. Don't
Third.
even worry about it. So thank y'all all so much. And we will see y'all. Y'all know I'll be here next week. So y'all do have an inner circle where I share constantly. If you ask the ladies who are part of the inner circle, I share quite a bit week after week after week. For
Mm-hmm.
those who are in the inner circle, I will be sending y'all an email this evening to let y'all know that tomorrow we're going over the eclipse class. Y'all know, in general, I'm here every Friday. So I look forward to seeing y'all again next Friday. You can go to my website, goddessbodymindspirit.com, and get on my email list. I treat my email list sort of like an inner circle also, because I put things in my email list or in my newsletters that I don't send out everywhere.
It hits.
Everybody knows what's in my
It hits.
newsletter.
It
You
hits.
like
It hits.
even my sisters on my newsletter, my email list. So
Yeah.
y'all get on the email list. So because my desire is to share my gifts to help y'all be able to grab that wisdom. Excuse me, to gift the wisdom to y'all to grab it up and to use it in your lives. So Erika, thank you. Happy
Thank
anniversary to
you.
us, 14
Happy
years.
Stay sweet. Black don't crack. What?
And to everybody, have a great weekend. We'll see y'all next time. Take care.
Be
Mwah.
safe.
Peace.
Peace.